16代目のクラウン、日本の歴史に重ね合わせれば、それは明治維新です。ご覧ください。新しい時代の幕開けです。
Toyota, the global automotive leader, faces stiff competition from the burgeoning EV market and emerging rivals. To maintain its dominance, Toyota is unveiling a groundbreaking engine designed to reshape the industry. What sets this engine apart, and how will it revolutionize the automotive landscape? Join us as we reveal Toyota's new engine that aims to surpass the EV market. The demand for traditional engines. In a world where electric vehicles are the talk of the town, Toyota has proven that there's still a strong demand for traditional engines. The Japanese automaker had its best year ever in 2023, selling an astonishing 11.2 million vehicles worldwide. But here's the surprising part. Electric cars contributed only a mere 0.926% to this success. That's right, out of the 11.2 million vehicles sold, only around 100,000 were electric. It's clear that despite the growing popularity of electric vehicles, many consumers still prefer the familiarity and reliability of traditional engines. Toyota's chairman believes that people should have the freedom to choose the type of vehicle that best suits their needs and preferences, without feeling pressured to go electric. He emphasized this point during a speech to 200 corporate managers and executives, where he also hinted at plans for a significant engine project that he had previously discussed at the 2024 Tokyo Auto Salon. But why is Toyota, a company known for its innovative hybrid technology, not fully embracing the electric vehicle trend? The answer lies in their belief that the market for electric cars will be limited. Toyota estimates that even with technological advancements, electric vehicles will make up at most 30% of the market, with the remaining 70% consisting of traditional engines, hybrid cars, and fuel cell electric vehicles. This diverse approach to powertrain options allows Toyota to cater to a wider range of customers and driving conditions. Interestingly, Toyota sees hydrogen-powered engines as a promising solution for the future. By investing in the development of hydrogen technology, Toyota aims to offer vehicles that combine the benefits of clean energy with the performance and convenience of traditional engines. Toyota's new combustion engine project for 2024. Toyota has been making waves in the automotive industry with its revolutionary approach to engine technology. While other manufacturers are rushing to go all-electric, Toyota has taken a bold step in a different direction. At the 2024 Tokyo Auto Salon, the company announced plans for a groundbreaking combustion engine project that has the potential to change the game. So, what makes this new engine so special? For starters, it's no ordinary combustion engine. Toyota has developed a hydrogen-powered engine that promises to deliver the performance of a traditional gasoline engine while emitting only water as a byproduct. That's right, this engine runs on hydrogen, one of the most abundant elements in the universe, and produces zero harmful emissions. But how does it work? The engine itself is quite similar to Toyota's existing hydrogen-powered models, such as the Corolla Cross H2 concept car. It features a 1.6-liter turbocharged 3-cylinder engine that has been specifically designed to run on hydrogen fuel. The hydrogen is stored in high-pressure tanks, similar to those in Toyota's fuel cell electric vehicle, FCEV, the Mirai. When the hydrogen is injected into the engine and ignited, it produces power just like a regular gasoline engine, but with the added benefit of being virtually pollution-free. One of the key advantages of Toyota's hydrogen engine is its versatility. Unlike electric vehicles, which require lengthy charging times and have limited range, hydrogen-powered cars can be refueled quickly and offer a driving range comparable to gasoline vehicles. This makes them a more practical option for people who need to travel long distances or don't have easy access to charging infrastructure. Automakers' plans to switch to electric vehicles. While Toyota is making waves with its innovative hydrogen-powered engine, other automakers are doubling down on their plans to go all-electric. Many major players in the industry have set ambitious targets to phase out traditional combustion engines and shift their focus entirely to electric vehicles. One of the most notable examples is Jaguar, the iconic British luxury car brand. The company has announced that it will become an all-electric luxury brand by 2025, making it the first major automaker to commit to a completely electric lineup. This move is part of Jaguar Land Rover's larger strategy to achieve net zero carbon emissions across its supply chain, products, and operations by 2039. Other luxury automakers are following suit. Bentley, known for its opulent vehicles, has pledged to offer only electric cars by 2030. Aston Martin, the British manufacturer famous for its association with James Bond, has also announced plans to electrify its entire lineup by the end of the decade. Even Rolls-Royce, the epitome of automotive luxury, is embracing the electric revolution with its first fully electric model, the Spectre, set to launch in 2023. But it's not just the luxury segment that's going electric. Mass-market automakers are also setting ambitious targets. Chrysler, the American automaker known for its minivans and muscle cars, has announced plans to go all-electric by 2028. The company's first battery electric vehicle, BEV, is set to debut in 2025, with additional models to follow in the coming years. Volkswagen, one of the world's largest automakers, has also set its sights on electric dominance. The German company aims to launch 70 all-electric models by the 2030s and expects BEVs to account for 50% of its global sales by the same year. To support this transition, Volkswagen is investing heavily in battery technology and charging infrastructure. Mercedes-Benz, another German automaker, has announced plans to go all-electric by the end of the decade, provided that market conditions allow. The company is preparing to launch 3 new electric vehicle platforms in 2025, which will form the basis for a wide range of models across its lineup. Even Toyota's own luxury division, Lexus, has pledged to offer only electric vehicles in Europe, North America, and China by 2030. The brand aims to achieve carbon neutrality across its entire value chain by 2050, with electrification playing a key role in reaching this goal. How hydrogen-powered engines work. Hydrogen-powered engines are a fascinating technology that promises to revolutionize the automotive industry. But how exactly do they work? At the heart of a hydrogen engine is a process called electrolysis, which involves extracting energy from water by separating hydrogen and oxygen atoms. To understand this process, let's take a closer look at water's molecular structure. Scientifically known as H2O, water consists of 2 hydrogen atoms bonded to a single oxygen atom. By applying an electric current to water, we can break these bonds and split the molecule into its constituent parts, hydrogen and oxygen gas. Once separated, the hydrogen gas becomes a potent fuel source. In fact, hydrogen has the highest specific energy density of any non-nuclear power source, meaning it packs a serious punch when it comes to generating energy. This is where the real magic of a hydrogen engine happens. Inside the engine, the hydrogen gas is injected into the combustion chamber, just like gasoline in a traditional engine. However, instead of mixing with air and igniting to create an explosion, the hydrogen gas undergoes a chemical reaction with oxygen. This reaction produces heat, which drives the engine's pistons and generates power. But here's the best part. The only byproduct of this reaction is pure water vapor. That's right, a hydrogen engine only emits water from its tailpipe. This makes it an incredibly clean and environmentally friendly alternative to gasoline-powered engines, which release harmful carbon dioxide and other pollutants into the atmosphere. To make this process work efficiently, hydrogen engines require some special components. The fuel injectors, for example, need to be designed to handle the unique properties of hydrogen gas, which is much lighter and more flammable than gasoline. The cylinder heads, pistons, and valves also need to be reinforced to withstand the high pressures and temperatures generated by hydrogen combustion. Despite these challenges, Toyota has made significant strides in developing practical hydrogen engines. The company's latest prototype, the Corolla Cross H2 concept car, features a 1.6-liter turbocharged 3-cylinder engine that runs entirely on hydrogen. With a range of around 300 miles and a refueling time of just a few minutes, this vehicle showcases the potential of hydrogen power to compete with traditional gasoline engines. Of course, there are still some hurdles to overcome before hydrogen engines can become a mainstream technology. Infrastructure for producing and distributing hydrogen fuel is still limited, and the cost of hydrogen vehicles remains higher than their gasoline counterparts. However, with continued investment and innovation from companies like Toyota, it's only a matter of time before hydrogen power becomes a viable option for drivers around the world. New fuel technologies. When it comes to alternative fuel technologies, there are a few key players in the game. hydrogen combustion engines, fuel cell electric vehicles FCEVs, and the new one that's making the waves, water engines. But how do these different technologies stack up against each other? First, let's take a closer look at how water engines work. A water engine uses water as its primary fuel source. The engine extracts hydrogen from water molecules through a process that involves passing an electric current through the water. The resulting hydrogen gas is then used to power the engine, either through combustion or in a fuel cell. The byproduct of this process is pure water vapor, making it an incredibly clean and environmentally friendly alternative to traditional fossil fuels. But the benefits of water engines don't stop there. When it comes to storage, water engines have a clear advantage over their competitors. Unlike hydrogen combustion engines and FCEVs, which require specialized storage systems to keep the hydrogen fuel under high pressure and at specific temperatures, water engines can use plain old H2O as their fuel source. This means that the fuel can be stored in virtually any plastic container, making it incredibly easy and inexpensive to transport and distribute. In contrast, the specialized storage systems required for hydrogen fuel can be bulky, heavy, and expensive, adding significant cost and complexity to the vehicle. But it's not just the storage systems themselves. The process of producing and storing hydrogen fuel is also a major factor to consider. Hydrogen is notoriously difficult to contain, as it can easily escape through even the tiniest of leaks. This means that storage tanks for hydrogen fuel need to be heavily reinforced and constantly monitored, which adds even more cost and complexity to the equation. In fact, some estimates suggest that the cost of producing and storing hydrogen fuel could be up to 3 times higher than the cost of producing and storing gasoline. So, what does this mean for consumers? Well, it's pretty simple: higher costs. Because of the expensive storage systems and production processes required for hydrogen fuel, the price of hydrogen-powered vehicles is likely to be significantly higher than that of traditional gasoline-powered vehicles. This could make hydrogen combustion engines and FCEVs a tough sell for many consumers, especially those on a tight budget. But what about the environmental impact? This is where water engines really shine. Because they use water as their fuel source, water engines produce zero emissions, aside from a small amount of water vapor. This makes them an incredibly clean and environmentally friendly alternative to traditional gasoline engines, which emit harmful pollutants like carbon dioxide and nitrogen oxides. Hydrogen combustion engines and FCEVs are also much cleaner than gasoline engines, but they still produce some emissions in the form of water vapor and trace amounts of nitrogen oxides. Of course, there are still some challenges to overcome when it comes to water engines. For one, the technology is still relatively new and untested, so there are likely to be some snags to resolve in the early stages of development. Additionally, the infrastructure for distributing and storing water as a fuel source is not yet in place, which could make it difficult for water engines to gain widespread adoption in the short term. Now it's time for today's subscriber pick. The internet was recently abuzz with a major headline from Toyota's CEO. This new engine will destroy the entire EV industry. In an ambitious move to compete with the growing electric vehicle market, Toyota announced its development of a revolutionary water-powered engine. Yes, you heard that right. An engine fueled by nothing but ordinary H2O. Despite the excitement, developing a viable water-powered engine faces significant hurdles. Hydrogen storage is a major challenge, as it's a highly flammable gas requiring specialized high-pressure tanks. This adds complexity, cost, and a potential safety risks to the vehicle. Nevertheless, Toyota remains optimistic about the potential of water-powered engines to revolutionize the automotive industry. The company has filed numerous patents and is actively developing prototypes and proof-of-concept vehicles. If Toyota succeeds in overcoming these challenges, this new technology could indeed disrupt the EV market, challenging its dominance and potentially reshaping the automotive landscape. What are your thoughts on this new technology? Let us know in the comments. Daily usability and performance. When it comes to alternative fuel technologies, one of the biggest concerns for consumers is how well they will perform in everyday driving situations. After all, what good is a fancy new engine if it can't get you from point A to point B reliably and efficiently? Fortunately, water engines have a lot to offer in terms of daily usability and performance. First and foremost, water engines pack a serious punch when it comes to energy output. In fact, Some estimates suggest that water-powered engines could generate up to 3 times more megajoules of energy than traditional gasoline engines. This means that water engines could potentially offer better acceleration, higher top speeds, and longer driving ranges than their gasoline-powered counterparts. But it's not just raw power. Water engines also have some inherent safety advantages over other types of alternative fuel technologies. Because water is a non-flammable, non-toxic substance, the risk of fires or explosions in a water-powered vehicle is extremely low. This is in stark contrast to hydrogen combustion engines and fuel cell electric vehicles, which use highly flammable hydrogen gas as their fuel source. In the event of a crash or malfunction, a hydrogen-powered vehicle could potentially turn into a veritable bomb on wheels, putting the driver and passengers at serious risk. Another major advantage of water engines is their relative simplicity and ease of production. Unlike electric vehicles, which require complex and expensive battery systems, water engines can be manufactured using many of the same components and production processes as traditional gasoline engines. This means that automakers could potentially retool their existing manufacturing facilities to produce water engines, rather than having to build entirely new production lines from scratch. But perhaps the biggest selling point for water engines is their cost effectiveness. Because water is an abundant and easily accessible resource, the cost of fueling a water-powered vehicle is likely to be much lower than the cost of fueling a gasoline-powered vehicle or an electric vehicle. In fact, some experts predict that the cost per mile of driving a water-powered vehicle could be as much as 50% lower than the cost of driving a gasoline-powered vehicle. Challenges and limitations. While hydrogen engines and water engines show immense promise as alternative fuel technologies, it's important to acknowledge the challenges and limitations that these industries currently face. From infrastructure and logistical issues to safety concerns and potential opposition from established players in the automotive industry, there are a number of hurdles that must be overcome before hydrogen and water engines can become mainstream. One of the biggest challenges facing the hydrogen engine industry is the lack of infrastructure for producing, distributing, and storing hydrogen fuel. Unlike gasoline, which can be easily transported and stored using existing infrastructure, hydrogen requires specialized pipelines, storage tanks, and fueling stations. Building out this infrastructure from scratch would be a massive undertaking, requiring significant investment and coordination between government agencies, private companies, and local communities. Another major challenge is the issue of hydrogen storage itself. As a gas, hydrogen is extremely difficult to compress and store in a way that is both safe and efficient. Current hydrogen storage systems are bulky, heavy, and expensive, which adds significant cost and complexity to hydrogen-powered vehicles. Additionally, hydrogen gas can be highly flammable and explosive if not handled properly, which raises serious safety concerns for both drivers and mechanics. Speaking of safety, hydrogen engines also face potential opposition from regulatory agencies and consumer advocacy groups who may be wary of the risks associated with hydrogen fuel. In the event of a crash or malfunction, a hydrogen-powered vehicle could potentially turn into a veritable bomb on wheels, putting the driver and passengers at serious risk. While companies like Toyota are working hard to address these safety concerns through advanced engineering and rigorous testing, it may take some time to convince the public that hydrogen-powered vehicles are truly safe and reliable. But perhaps the biggest challenge facing the hydrogen engine industry is the potential opposition from established players in the automotive industry. Companies like Tesla and General Motors have invested heavily in electric vehicle technology, and they may see hydrogen engines as a threat to their bottom line. Additionally, oil and gas companies may be reluctant to support the development of alternative fuel technologies that could undermine their core business model. Despite these challenges, however, there are also a number of factors working in favor of the hydrogen engine industry. For one, hydrogen engines have the potential to significantly reduce greenhouse gas emissions and combat climate change, which is becoming an increasingly urgent priority for governments and consumers alike. Additionally, hydrogen engines could help to reduce our dependence on foreign oil, which has important geopolitical implications. Furthermore, the development of hydrogen engines could create new economic opportunities and jobs in the automotive industry, particularly in areas related to fuel production, distribution, and storage. As more and more companies invest in hydrogen engine technology, we can see the emergence of a whole new ecosystem of suppliers, manufacturers, and service providers, all working together to bring this technology to market. Toyota's 1.6-liter three-cylinder turbo hydrogen engine. When it comes to alternative fuel technologies, Toyota is a company that is always pushing the boundaries of what's possible. Their latest innovation is a 1.6-liter three-cylinder turbo hydrogen engine that promises to combine the power and performance of a traditional gasoline engine with the environmental benefits of hydrogen fuel. Let's take a closer look at this groundbreaking technology and what it could mean for the future of the automotive industry. At the heart of Toyota's new engine is a 1.6-liter three-cylinder turbocharged power plant that is based on the same platform as the engine found in the GR Yaris, a high-performance hatchback that has been praised for its speed and agility. However, unlike the GR Yaris engine, which runs on gasoline, Toyota's new engine has been specifically designed to run on hydrogen fuel. To make this possible, Toyota's engineers had to make a number of significant modifications to the engine. For one, they had to replace the traditional fuel injection system with a high-pressure hydrogen direct injection system that can deliver the hydrogen fuel directly into the engine's combustion chamber. This allows more precise control over the fuel-air mixture and helps optimize performance and efficiency. Another key modification was the addition of a specially designed turbocharger that can handle the unique properties of hydrogen fuel. Because hydrogen is a much lighter gas than gasoline, it requires a different type of turbocharger that can spin at much higher speeds and generate more boost pressure. Toyota's engineers were able to develop a turbocharger that can operate at up to 150,000 RPM, which is significantly higher than the turbochargers used in traditional gasoline engines. But perhaps the most impressive aspect of Toyota's new engine is its performance. Despite running on hydrogen fuel, which has a lower energy density than gasoline, the 1.6-liter three-cylinder turbo engine is able to produce an impressive 295 horsepower. This is largely thanks to the high-pressure hydrogen direct injection system, which allows for a more efficient combustion process and helps to extract more power from the fuel. Of course, performance is only one part of the equation when it comes to alternative fuel technologies. The other key factor is environmental impact, and this is where Toyota's new engine really shines. Because it runs on hydrogen fuel, which produces only water vapor as a byproduct of combustion, the 1.6-liter three-cylinder turbo engine has the potential to significantly reduce greenhouse gas emissions and combat climate change. In fact, Toyota has already begun testing the engine in a modified version of the Corolla Cross, a popular crossover SUV. The Corolla Cross H2 concept, as it's known, has been undergoing real-world testing in Japan, and the results so far have been extremely promising. According to Toyota, the Corolla Cross H2 concept has a driving range of around 400 miles on a single tank of hydrogen fuel, which is comparable to many gasoline-powered vehicles. But Toyota isn't stopping there. They are also working on developing a hydrogen fuel cell system that can be used in conjunction with the 1.6-liter three-cylinder turbo engine to create a hybrid powertrain that is even more efficient and environmentally friendly. This system would use a fuel cell to generate electricity from hydrogen fuel, which could then be used to power an electric motor and provide additional torque and power to the engine. Performance and driving experience of hydrogen-powered vehicles. Performance is often a major concern for drivers, and the biggest question always on their minds is whether a hydrogen-powered car can keep up with its gasoline-powered counterparts. Can it provide the same performance that car enthusiasts crave? The answer, according to Toyota, is a resounding yes. Toyota's hydrogen-powered vehicles, such as the Mirai and the experimental Corolla Cross H2 concept, boast impressive performance specs that rival those of traditional gasoline engines. The Mirai, for example, can produce up to 182 horsepower, allowing it to accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 9.2 seconds. While this may not be on par with high-performance sports cars, it's more than enough power for everyday driving situations. But it's not just raw power. Toyota's hydrogen-powered vehicles also deliver a driving experience that feels remarkably similar to that of a gasoline-powered car. The throttle response is instant and linear, providing a sense of immediacy and control that is often lacking in electric vehicles. The engine sound, while different from a traditional gasoline engine, still provides a satisfying growl that enhances the driving experience. In fact, Toyota has even proven hydrogen power potential in high-performance applications. In 2021, the company entered a modified Corolla Sport equipped with a hydrogen-powered engine in the Super Taikyu series, a grueling endurance racing series in Japan. The car, which was based on the GR Yaris platform, competed in the STQ class and demonstrated impressive speed and reliability, completing the race without any major issues. But hydrogen power's benefits go beyond performance. Hydrogen-powered vehicles also offer significant environmental advantages over traditional gasoline engines and even hybrid electric vehicles, HEVs, and plug-in hybrid electric vehicles, PHEVs. The most obvious benefit is the lack of CO2 emissions. When hydrogen is used as a fuel, the only byproduct of the combustion process is water vapor. That means hydrogen-powered vehicles can operate with zero CO2 emissions, making them a much cleaner alternative to gasoline engines. But the environmental benefits don't stop there. The process of producing hydrogen fuel can also be much cleaner than the process of extracting and refining fossil fuels. When hydrogen is produced using renewable energy sources, such as solar or wind, the entire fuel life cycle becomes carbon neutral. This stands in stark contrast to the production of gasoline, which involves drilling for oil, transporting it to refineries, and then burning it in engines, releasing CO2 and other pollutants into the atmosphere at every step of the process. Even HEVs and PHEVs, which use a combination of gasoline and electric power, still rely on fossil fuels to some extent, and therefore contribute to greenhouse gas emissions. Toyota's multi-technology approach to achieving carbon neutrality. When it comes to achieving carbon neutrality in the automotive industry, there is no one-size-fits-all solution. Different regions have different energy sources, infrastructure, and environmental policies, which means that a single technology or approach may not be effective everywhere. Toyota recognizes this reality and has adopted a multi-technology approach to reducing its carbon footprint. Rather than putting all its eggs in one basket, the company is investing in a diverse range of technologies and strategies to achieve its goal of becoming carbon neutral by 2050. One key pillar of Toyota's approach is the development of battery electric vehicles, BEVs. BEVs are powered solely by electricity stored in batteries and produce zero emissions during operation. Toyota has already launched several BEV models, including the BZ4X SUV and the Lexus RZ450e, and has plans to introduce many more in the coming years. However, Toyota also recognizes that BEVs are not a perfect solution for every situation. In regions with limited access to renewable energy sources or charging infrastructure, BEVs may actually have a higher overall carbon footprint than traditional gasoline-powered vehicles. That's why Toyota is also investing heavily in hydrogen fuel cell vehicles, FCEVs, and plug-in hybrid electric vehicles, VHEVs. FCEVs, like the Toyota Mirai, use hydrogen as a fuel source to generate electricity, which powers an electric motor. The only byproduct of this process is water vapor, making FCEVs a highly attractive option for regions with access to renewable hydrogen production. VHEVs, on the other hand, combine a traditional gasoline engine with an electric motor and battery pack. This allows them to operate in purely electric mode for short distances, while still having the flexibility and range of a traditional gasoline-powered vehicle for longer trips. Toyota has been a leader in PHEV technology for over 2 decades, with models like the Prius Prime and RAV4 Prime offering exceptional fuel efficiency and low emissions. However, Toyota's commitment to sustainability goes beyond vehicle technology. The company is also investing in renewable energy projects, such as solar and wind power, to reduce the carbon footprint of its manufacturing operations. It is also working to develop more efficient production processes and recycling technologies to minimize waste and conserve resources. Perhaps most importantly, Toyota is taking a holistic view of the carbon neutrality challenge, recognizing that achieving this goal will require collaboration and coordination across multiple sectors and stakeholders. The company is actively engaging with governments, energy companies, and other automakers to develop policies and infrastructure that will support the transition to a low-carbon future. With its multi-technology approach and its commitment to sustainability, Toyota is poised to be a key player in this fight and to help lead the way towards a cleaner, greener future for all. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.